It's Christmas time, and Dead Rising has seen a return to its roots with the fourth game in the series returning to where it all began, the town of Willamette. The only thing is, this game is as far as you can get from the roots of a Dead Rising game, but I'll get to that a little more later in this review.
You got it.
Hey everyone, Lucas here from Aussie Games Express, and today I am bringing you my review of Dead Rising 4 on the Xbox One. Firstly, Dead Rising 4 sees the return of the tongue-in-cheek smartass reporter known as Frank West.
You killed him?
What? No, he's just sleeping.
Frank originally graced our Xbox 360 consoles with the very first iteration of Dead Rising. Frank West's character is quirky and nonchalant considering the mayhem that is going on around him. Frank manages to deliver witty and comical humour throughout the game that resembles the odd dad joke that some people may find to be on the lower end of the funny scale. But I found myself chuckling at most of the one-liners and strange on-screen antics. Frank is a little older now, but he seems to have kept his cocky nature, and even though he is voiced by a completely new actor, the feel of Frank has been captured without a doubt.
Do them one at a time. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. Ready-ish.
Releasing population 7A.
Shit. Huh. Guess I can still kick ass.
In Dead Rising 4, the story begins with Frank being enticed back to Willamette, the town where the first outbreak occurred. This isn't something Frank would have considered doing if he wasn't misled by being told that he was going to play mini-golf.
Vic, I forgive you. This is way better than mini-golf.
In the town of Willamette, you investigate a covert military base that has been erected since the outbreak. You're in company with one of your students named Vic, with the express idea of uncovering secret military zombie testing where they may be working on ways to weaponize zombies. The story isn't going to blow your mind, but it's engaging enough for at least one playthrough. The story will take you around 12 to 16 hours to complete if you don't spend too much time playing around in the world with collectibles and side quests, which means there is more than enough content here from the get-go. The ending of the game came as a big surprise to me, and it felt that it ended way too abruptly with little explanation. The worst part is that it felt like the game needed an epilogue to close the story up, but it sort of just ended with something that was quite controversial. I'll leave the specific details for those who want to go and play it themselves. The gameplay kicks off with instant fun and is as entertaining as ever. However, this is where fans of the series will start to notice big differences from the original games. The first two Dead Rising games were somewhat geared towards the hardcore market, with strict time limits to complete missions and side quests, meaning that if you ran out of time, you simply failed. There was also a manual save mechanic, which meant that if you forgot to save your game while you were in a safe zone, you lost all of your progression since your last save if you died. This was softened a little with Dead Rising 3, but it still gave the option of playing the game on a harder mode, which emulated the way the originals played out by restricting save points to safe zones and making the game harder overall. Now with Dead Rising 4, all of this has been done away with. There is no need to save your game at all in Dead Rising 4 because the autosave feature does all of that work for you now. The time limits for missions and side missions are now completely gone also. This was part of the original games that I disliked, but with Dead Rising 3 it was still there, but it wasn't as restrictive as its predecessors. Now in Dead Rising 4, it's gone completely, and I can see long-time fans of the series finding this completely unacceptable. Even I missed it a little bit. Previously, you started off with a small inventory capacity, and it was hard to pick up new weapons until you managed to level up enough to earn more slots. Now you start off with plenty of space in your inventory, and you don't even really need to unlock more slots to use. Also, the administering of health packs or eating food is easier than ever, with you only ever needing to press down on the D-pad to give yourself a health boost. Previously, you would have needed to equip the food before using it. All of this is leading to my point that Dead Rising 4 is just too damn easy. I am by no measure a world-class gamer. I simply just love playing them. Ask me how many times I died playing Dead Rising 4. Go on, ask me. How many times do you say? None. Zero, niente. I never died once. That means that I went through all of the psychopaths in the game, all of the mini bosses and major bosses, even the final boss without coming close to dying once. There's absolutely no challenge to Dead Rising 4, and there is no difficulty setting available to ramp it up a bit. I hoped that once I finished the first playthrough that I might unlock a new game plus or a new difficulty, but no. You can start again with your same character level, but that just makes the game even easier than before because you have all of your abilities from your first playthrough. Now, like a good sequel, Dead Rising 4 does introduce more wacky abilities into the mix with a lot of blueprints for you to collect that can make crazy, awesome apocalyptic weapons to slay your zombies with. The biggest addition would have to be the exosuits, which you can find throughout the game, which turns you into an overpowered version of your original self. You can pick up a larger-than-life weapons, and you can find upgrades to the suit around the world too. Most of the time though, there is a timer attached to the exosuit, which means that you can't just use the suit all of the time. I think the game is easy enough without the suit, so this won't upset you when it's gone. Dead Rising 4 is a fun game to play, and it has improved a lot in the graphics, controls and mechanics of the game, but I do think it went too far in making the game accessible for the masses. The difficulty of it all felt like it was made for children. Early in the game I was excited for a zombie slaying fest, but when it all became silly easy, I started to lose the edge. I would strongly suggest that big-time hardcore fans of the series would have a lot to complain about here, while newcomers will probably have a good time with the game and its massive zombie hordes to kill. Well, that's all I've got for now, but this is only the beginning of the discussion. Have your say in the comments field below and let me know what you thought of the game. Did you love it or did you hate it? Was it too easy or did I get something wrong? Let me know and let's keep the discussion going as long as we can. Don't forget to subscribe to Aussie Gamers Express's YouTube channel to see more of our videos in the future. I'll catch you all next time, and as always, I am Lucas for Aussie Gamers Express. Catch ya!